What is going on, y'all? We are back for another day of the Parlay Olay Bets Best Bets show. It is Monday, January 19th. As I mentioned before, we don't do shows on Friday or Saturdays and Sundays. It is a holiday today, but going to get you a show out today. We have a P&L of plus 20 units in 2026. Had a little bit of a downswing the last 2 days with some weird slates and some weird results, but we'll move on. And our YouTube win loss year to date is 19-4. So we went 1-1 on our plays on Friday. The Phantom barely losing, which cost us that money line play that we had in play. Today we have an NBA slate that kicks off in a couple of hours, playing games all day. And then we also have an unrivaled 2-game slate as well, the Breeze versus the Mist and the Vinyl versus the Lunar Owls. So we're going to touch on Unrivaled. I have one play for Unrivaled and I have one play for the NBA. Most of my lines bumped overnight. So don't want to be giving you bumped lines that I wouldn't really want to play on my own. So with that being said, let's jump into it. The Breeze versus the Mist. And when you look at this game, one of the things that I'm interested in is how did the Breeze come back? So I've mentioned this several times before, but the Breeze are an incredibly talented team, but there doesn't seem to be a ton of offensive structure, which can be a problem against some of these more veteran teams. And we saw this against the Vinyl, right? The Vinyl are a strong team of individual defenders, and they were able to body up the Breeze, and that can cause issues. The Mist are a strong team of individual defenders. Unless the Breeze start running real offensive actions, right now it's pretty much just set a screen for Paige. Paige kind of runs around and then they kind of figure it out. Or Rakia tries to take her defender off the dribble. Unless they start running some offensive actions, I'm not a big fan of the Breeze right now. I thought they would kind of incorporate that more, but they haven't over the last 2 games. If I had a lean here, it'd be Mist minus 3.5, but I'm not playing anything officially for this game. The Vinyl versus the Lunar Owls. This is where I have a play at. So as we just talked about, the Vinyl, strong individual defenders. And what we saw against the Breeze is we actually saw Brittany Griner get heavy minutes in that game, which is a bit unexpected, but it makes sense given the size of Dominique Mwanga, the size of Rakia, Cameron Brink. And so having to bring in Brittany Griner is a value add there. Also, Derek Hamby had 4 personal fouls, so another reason why I could probably play more minutes for Brittany Griner. But she put up 17 points and 7 boards in that those limited minutes. But what I saw here was really that individual defense, right? They were able to stop and body up a Paige, a Rakia, a Dominique. Against the Lunar Owls, that's not going to be the case. And the Lunar Owls have been a bad team all year. But the thing I want to call out here for the Lunar Owls is that they got Skylar Diggins back. She played just 8 minutes. I anticipate that goes up, right? You're never going to win. You're not going to have a competitive team if you're playing Rebecca Allen more minutes than Skylar Diggins consistently. She shot poorly, 2 of 8, wasn't integrated in the offense. I honestly think she's probably better coming off the bench a little bit, given how effective Aaliyah Edwards and Marina Mabry are, but you need to have her more minutes off the bench. In this game, though, what I like is that the Lunar Owls defensively are not a strong team defensively, right? You can just see the point totals they've given up, and a lot of that is tired legs, right? They don't have a whole lot of strong individual defenders, especially in Rebecca Allen and in Rachel Bannum. And so when you look at this and look at their previous games, here's what they've given up: 80 to the Rose, 94 to the Phantom, 84 to the Laces, 79 to the Mist. I have no reason to believe their defense is magically going to get better here against Vinyl. Also, though, I don't expect the Vinyl to be that strong in defending the Lunar Owls. They have a phenomenal pick and roll game between Marina Mabry and Aaliyah Edwards. And when you get those people in motion, it does impact the Vinyl quite a bit. And so let's look at some of the Vinyl games. I want to call this out, who they played, because that's a really important piece here. Who they played so far this year. They have played the Laces, where they gave up 58. The Laces in that game literally just ran ISO all game. They played the Rose. They gave up 69. All right. The Rose have strong offensive identity. It is Chelsea Gray. It is Azra Stevens. It is Shakira Austin. Like those are the players. Like it is a pick and roll game between Chelsea Gray and those two. It's not that bad. The Hive. Offensive continuity, 66 points. And the Breeze, again, not really as good of an offensive identity. So really what you're banking on here is, can the Lunar Owls score 70 points in this game? And I think they can against the Vinyl. I think the Vinyl could easily score 75, 76. I actually like the Lunar Owls, the spread, the plus 5.5. But what I'm really going to take here is the Lunar Owls Vinyl over 140.5. So that's my official play here today, is the total over 140.5 Lunar Owls versus the Vinyl. And as always, I'll have some player props and whatnot in the Discord. For the NBA slate, again, like I said, a lot of things bumped. I'm going to go through those bumped lines real quick. The first one is going to be Ivaka Zubac. Had him at over 10.5 rebounds. He is now at 11.5 rebounds. So I don't mind 11.5, but I would love the 10.5 wherever possible. And it's not about hit rate, but it's about the opportunity that he currently has. So going up against the Wizards, a team that allows a ton of rebounds, this is a pretty easy graph, right? Teams that are bottom 10 in rebounds allowed, look at what he's done. The other two games, the Jazz and the Thunder, those are unique circumstances, right? The Thunder have two very big bigs, especially early in the season. The Jazz also had both their bigs early in the season as well. So those numbers are going to be a little bit deceiving here. I like this going up against the Wizards team. They are basically bottom everything in rebounds allowed. Uh, he's going to be closer to the paint as well with Sar. So I like Zubac to get over 10.5 rebounds, but he's at 11.5, so I'm not going to play that. The play I'm going to be on today, and it's only because I see this line available at one spot, but I have Victor Wembanyama, and I took the ladder here, right? So I took the ladder of 4, 5, and 6 assists, but for the show, I would give out the 2.5 assist, right? At minus 155, I'd probably play 1.25 units. And you look at this again, hit rate, not strong, right? And that's okay. 11 to 21 games. What I like about this, though, is how many assists the Jazz are allowing. All right. So you can see first position is very low. But when you look at some of the players that have hit this, right? You look at an Anthony Davis is going to be a more similar comparison to Victor. Evan Mobley is going to be more appropriate comparison to Victor. What they are doing is doubling these bigs when they get the ball on the low block. They're going to do the same thing for Victor, and that's what I saw in the first game they played against Victor. He had 8 potentials and 3 assists and 27 passes in 28 minutes. Will Hardy is a phenomenal coach in terms of changing up the defensive coverages game to game. And I think against Victor, what we're going to see is a lot of heavy blitzing, a lot of doubling, making sure they get the ball out of Victor's hands, especially if they're not going to play Nurk. If they're just playing Phillip, there's no way they're going to let Phillip sit there on an island against Victor. So I anticipate some heavy pressure there, or Kevin Love if they go the Kevin Love route. I anticipate some heavy pressure going at Victor, which is going to force the ball to get out of his hands. I expect to see at least that 8 potential assist game as well. And again, we're going to see, should be able to see that 2.5 clear pretty easily. I'm just going through some numbers here. What happens when he faces a potential assist team, or a team that allows a ton of assists? We're seeing a bump of 1.4 potentials here. When you're looking at the defensive zones, any difference here? Not really, right? So it's really, to me, it's just the fact that the way the Jazz intend to defend Victor is to get the ball the heck out of his hands. And I love that when it comes to assist look. So my play here is going to be Victor Wembanyama over 2.5 assists. I would play that at the heavily juiced rate. I don't want to play that 3.5 at that plus money. What we got it at was much better than the 136. So I love the 4-5-6 ladder. What at the odds we got it at, but at this point, my official play would be the 2.5 assists at that juiced money. So that's what I have for you today. If you want more bets like this, make sure to check out the Discord link in the description, and we'll get you more content out on the Discord. We also have Matt, who has been absolutely unloading on golf, had a great weekend, up plus 7 units, I believe, in golf this weekend alone, betting only straight. So if that's what you're interested in, we've got that. We've got soccer, we got money lines, spreads, college props, you name it, we have it in the Discord. So check that out. Use the code Unrivaled to get 50% off your first month in the Discord. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye, y'all.